A lawsuit involving Hannibal Regional Healthcare System and their plans to bring a cancer treatment center to Kirksville came to a head last month when it was decided that no laws were broken. Here's a look at the proceedings so far, as well as what's next.
The whole sequence of events started in June of 2024 when Hannibal Regional Healthcare System received funding of $15 million from the state of Missouri to help build a radiation oncology center on about 170 acres of land across from Leisure World Lanes on East Illinois Street in Kirksville. This facility would include a new linear accelerator used to treat cancer cells with radiation. In October, HRHS was given approval of a certificate of need, which allows or prohibits creation, expansion, or acquisition of healthcare facilities. Around that time, Northeast Regional Medical Center in Kirksville secured a used linear accelerator, bypassing the requirement of a CON. Tina Bender of Atlanta, Missouri, saw a problem in this process. In a deposition, Bender says she thought it was wrong that residents would have to wait longer for the center to be built when there's a hospital with a vault capable of housing a linear accelerator that could be operational sooner. She didn't understand why Hannibal Regional was offered the funding. So what did she do? She filed a lawsuit against the Missouri Department of Social Services. In the September 25th filings, she claimed the Missouri legislature violated two provisions in the state statutes. They provide that the legislature, quote, may not appropriate any money for healthcare facilities until a certificate of need has been issued, and that no agency of state government can provide funds for a facility that hasn't first received the necessary CONs pursuant to law. Basically, Bender alleges that Hannibal Regional got the funding before the certificate. In December, Bender filed a temporary restraining order which would bar DSS from taking further steps to provide the appropriated funds. The filing said without it, DSS will have, quote, expended taxpayer funds unlawfully appropriated to HRHS, and it would be too late to protect taxpayer interests. After opposition and a rebuttal, Cole County Circuit Judge Cotton Walker granted the restraining order, saying it was necessary to, quote, preserve the status quo until rulings could be made on the underlying issues. Within the next few months, bench trials were held for parties to submit evidence and conduct depositions of those involved. Judge Walker gave attorneys on both sides until the end of February to hand in final statements before he gave his ruling. And then, nothing. There were no inklings of any decision or opinion for over a month. Then on April 7th, Judge Walker made his decision. He ruled in favor of the Department of Social Services and Hannibal Regional. In his 32-page ruling, the judge said the appropriation of $15 million did not break any bylaws of Missouri statute. He said the state legislature providing the funds is not a state agency, but instead its own branch of government and is not bound by Certificate of Need law. Hannibal Regional CEO Todd Ahrens is happy that the ruling is now allowing them to go forward with the project, which will cost more than the $15 million they got from the state.
It's an expensive project. We're estimating that the project's going to cost about $30 million. We're putting in a $4 million plus piece of equipment, and we're very comfortable with the judge's ruling and what this will likely mean that, really we should be able to go and get forward, get moving with the project.
Ahrens didn't give a timeline for construction, but says he's excited to finally bring cancer care to a community that hasn't had it for years.
That's going to be a big deal for the patients that we serve and the patients of the community, because instead of having to go to Columbia or Hannibal or some other faraway community on a daily basis for radiation oncology treatment, they'll be able to get that locally once we get the project completed.
Now, we've reached out to Tina for reaction, but have not heard back. We've also contacted Northeast Regional Medical Center for a statement on this ruling and the future of cancer care in Northeast Missouri, and we haven't heard from them either. Now, on May 6th, Bender's attorney filed a motion to amend Judge Walker's decision, which they say remedies errors in the language of the judgment and still purports the Missouri legislature broke at least one law in appropriating the funds. If and when Judge Walker makes another judgment, we'll tell you about it right here.